Volusia is a D-shaped oval. It is a bit like a, think Richmond Raceway, kind of shaped like that, but it's got a lot less banking, only about 10-degree turns, 7-degree straightaways, and it is just a half a mile. So a little bit different, but still a lot of similarities in the shape and some of the banking there as well. Pace truck lining up. Looks like Jared Heasley is there in the second row. You got the 92 of Wayne Bridges on the pole. So he's going to start up front. The 32 just to the outside of him. And we will watch him pace around and drop the pace truck drop off track here in a moment. And we're going to go green flag racing from Volusia. And it looks like Pace Truck's going to take him around one more time. While we're at it, just a huge shout out to Motorwear International and B-Make Designs. Jim Belair is the owner of B-Make Designs, and huge shout out to him and all the Outcast boys for the little gifts that they sent me just last week. Got some awesome new stuff, new coffee cup and some koozies and a mask, all with the Outcast logos and the HTSAI logo. So very cool, very thankful for that. Definitely go check those guys out. Great group of guys here. We'll talk more as the season goes on about some of their charity efforts and other things that they do for the community and in the community. But right now, it looks like that pace truck is going to turn off finally. And these five are going to get green flag racing. And green flag is in the air. Wayne Bridges trying to run him down, but Dwayne Kenner into turn one has got the run already on the outside. Looks like the outside line is going to be the fastest here tonight. He's got Jared Heasley up there to the high side as well, but it's a three-car battle right at the front. They are leaning on each other. Dwayne Kenner, Wayne Bridges, and Blake Mosley, all three right up there leaning on each other, coming out of turn four on the first lap. Coming down the second lap, looks like they're starting to sort out a little bit, and it looks like the 358s, at least at this track, might be the ones to beat. Jared Heasley currently the fastest big block on track. He is leading those around, and he's got Mikey Mixter in the 77 back behind him. But up front, it is still a three-car battle. As Blake Mosley is leading him around at the moment, but he's got two very fast cars right behind him. Dwayne Kenner, Wayne Bridges, both right there. Halfway point already in the first heat, and it is Blake Mosley just a hair ahead. He's got about 0.4 of a second. He is running that really high line off the corner and getting that nose right by the wall down through the turns. And the 32 of DJ Kenner. Let's ride along with Dwayne and see what it's like taking one of these 358s around here. As they come out of turn four, need to clean the visor, Dwayne. Drops off in there. You can see he gets right down by the inside wall and then using every bit of track he can to get drifted up, carry as much momentum as possible. Gets down not quite as low in 3 and 4, but comes back up to the outside wall. That is a lap around Volusia in 17.1 seconds in a 358. And I find it interesting that the more powerful big block is just not able to catch back up to these 358s. And as they finish, Blake Mosley comes in first, DJ Kenner second, Wayne Bridges third, and then Jared Heasley and Mikey Mixter are 1 and 2 in the 305. Or I'm sorry, in the big blocks. Too many cars, got to remember them all. All right, lining up for heat number 2. And we've got Doug Tyre Norton to the inside tonight. He's going to be starting on the pole here. He's got the 91, the 333 out there, as well as the 111. .333 is, of course, Mr. Corey Goodall. He is back there on the outside, but as we saw in that first heat, that outside line, at least on the start, seems to be the fastest one. Ben Flanagan there in the 111 on the outside of the front row. And Tom Land in the 91 car. And of course, when you tune in for the SR8s, Tom Land is one of those SR8 drivers on Wednesday nights. Put on a great show in those cars, and I do believe this week is the season finale in those, where they will be doing a doubleheader SR8s around the Monza Oval, but just for a little variety, they're going to do left-hand turn one race and right-hand turn the next. So that'll definitely be an exciting race. But right now, here they come down the front straightaway. Doug Tyre Norton gets a huge jump on the restart. Him and Ben Flanagan are running to the front. But here comes Tom Land to the inside and Corey Goodall. It looks like Ben Flanagan might have had some problems on the restart, but he is starting to come back already. He's already gotten around back there, trying to make his way back up as the sun goes down here. Tom Land and Corey Goodall right there in between them, and Doug Tyre Norton is running away with it at the moment. As Doug has a little bit of a lead over the 333 of Corey Goodall and a 2-second lead over his closest competitor Ben Flanagan in the 111. Not sure what happened with Ben on that restart, but he's definitely gone backwards just a little bit. Looks like he might be having a little bit of trouble. Looked like he was having a little trouble coming into turn one this time by. Looks like whatever it was, he's got it squared away. Meanwhile, for the first time, it looks like the big block is actually gaining on the 358 because Corey Goodall is coming right up on the back bumper of Doug Norton. As they have 3 laps to go in this second heat. Doug Norton and Corey Goodall still leading their respective classes. Tom Land is a couple of seconds behind, and Ben Flanagan's now 5 seconds behind Doug Norton. So these two will definitely, looks like, unless something happens, and that 333 was way sideways. Looked like he was having some problems getting through the turn. 1 lap to go. He lost a lot of ground on Doug Norton. But it looks like it will be Doug Norton and Corey Goodall, the winners of their respective classes. Tom Land is going to be second in his, and Ben Flanagan second in his. All right, now we will get to line up for heat number 3. And looks like Chris Standridge in the 22. He is to the outside. And he is in a 358. There is the 40 of Derek Nearhood there on the back row to the inside. The 96 of Skylar Massey will lead him down. And if you have a favorite driver, drop their name in the chat and we'll be sure to shout them out throughout the feature. And if you haven't already, we are live on Twitch and Facebook. You can go like, share, and subscribe on both places and on YouTube. All the races will be on YouTube later tonight or the next day. After each of the live races at night, the videos get posted. Race only video gets posted to YouTube. Excuse me, I'm having trouble talking now. And it does look like looks like there's only one big block on track right now. That's the 96. Just noticed that. We've got 3 different 358s, but only one big block. Green flag is in the air. Skylar Massey leads them down into turn 1. Only big block in the field, and the 22 of Chris Standridge is in the lead for the 358s. But James Johnson in the 39, he is starting to make a move on the 40 to the outside. Nope, crossover move coming out of turn 4. And it looks like James made it work, but the 40 is up into the wall. Will it bring out the caution, the first caution of the night? He gets it down off the wall and manages to keep going. Meanwhile, the 22 and the 39 have both gotten around the 96 of Skylar Massey in the big block. So far, the 358s are pretty dominant here tonight. As we reach the halfway point, Chris Standridge is leading James Johnson, but by only 0.4 of a second. So we'll see if James can close that gap back up with just a few laps left to go here. Looks like Skylar Massey has fallen back just a little bit, but being the only big block, it's not going to affect his starting position too terribly bad within his group. As they come down and get 2 laps to go, it is still Chris Standridge in the lead. James Johnson second, Derek Nearhood third in the 358s, and Skylar Massey still leading the big blocks around. And it looks like Derek Nearhood, despite going for a little bit of a wall ride earlier, he has managed to recover and is actually regaining a little bit of time, at least on Skylar Massey at the moment. But as they cross the finish line on the last lap of heat number 3, it is Chris Standridge in the lead, James Johnson in second, Derek Nearhood in third for 358s. Skylar Massey was first in the big blocks. Comes home third on track. And it definitely looks like there is a distinct advantage to the 358s here tonight. Watching them get lined back up here. Brett Carroll in the 999 to the outside. He's in a 358. The 95 is a 358. Let's see. I'm only seeing one big block on track this time as well. That is the 426 because the 99 is also. And that is Patrick Coluccio in the 99. He is also in a 358. So the 426 right now is the only big block on track. All right, they've got 1 to green now. Getting ready to go heat number 4 at this half-mile D-shaped oval. And you did hear Chris say before the first heat, he mentioned some new rules in place to try and cut down on cautions. We will see how that goes. It's definitely going to be a little bit different with two different cars on track as we're seeing tonight. So far, it's not been a problem, but who knows what the night will bring. Green flag is in the air. Patrick Coluccio leads them down into turn one. Brett Carroll in second, and Todd Schott in the only big block on track is currently in third. Brian Mansfield in the 95 back in fourth. And it looks like the big block of Todd Schott, he is now up running second on the track. Only the one out there, so he's still first in his class. He's doing quite well so far. He's managing to hold two 358s. Oh, it looks like Patrick Coluccio had a little problem going through the turns 1 and 2. Struggled getting off the turn, and that allowed a couple of cars to close back up on him. He's got Todd Schott and Brett Carroll coming right up on his back bumper. Looks like he is struggling coming off of turn 2. Patrick Coluccio is. The big block of Todd Schott gets by him, and Brett Carroll starting to look to the inside, trying to take first place in the 358s. Can't quite get there yet as we reach the halfway point, and this heat is definitely heating up, as Brian Mansfield in the 95 is also right there with him. And as they come through 3 and 4, 3 coming down to 2 laps to go, the 999 and the 95 almost touch right there on the front straightaway. They are battling extremely hard right now, trying to get any advantage going into the feature that they can get. But right now, it is Patrick Coluccio, as for the first time tonight, Todd Schott in the 426 in the only big block on track. He is running away from him. He is actually running away from the 99 of Patrick Coluccio tonight. So for the first time tonight, you've got a big block leading the 358s. This could get interesting once you get into the feature with a full field out there. All right, moving on to the consolation feature. Well, you see, we've got the 40 of Derek Nearhood out there. Brian Mansfield in the 95 also out there. The 111 of Ben Flanagan is out there. And the 10 of Jared Heasley out there in the consolation feature. And we will see if a couple of these guys can advance. Jared is the only one out there in a big block at the moment, so he's going to have to fight to stay in front of these 358s. But as we just saw, Todd Schott could do it. We'll see if Jared Heasley can do it as well. Jared is no stranger to multi-class racing. He races some IMSA stuff and has raced a stock car series that ran 3 different trucks, Xfinity and Cup together. So he definitely knows the best strategies to use here in a multi-class situation. We'll see what he can do with these guys here tonight as the sun's going down at Volusia. And Brian Mansfield saying hello from the pits. Hey, Brian. Good luck, buddy. All right, pace car getting ready to drop off. We'll see if that 10 car of Jared Heasley can hold off these 358s right behind him. He's going to have to push really hard. So far tonight, the 358s have been the fastest, but he gets a bit of a jump going down into turn 1. Ben Flanagan right behind him, though. We'll have to see if that extra power has gives him any advantage here because Ben Flanagan is right there to his back bumper already. Coming through 3 and 4 the first lap at least. Jared manages to lead it, but Ben Flanagan and Derek Nearhood, Brian Mansfield all right there behind him. And looks like we're about to have a battle back here for third as the 40 of Derek Nearhood and Brian Mansfield are almost side by side, almost touch going through 1 and 2. Manages to keep it off of each other, but they had a bit of a moment there to keep them going. And meanwhile, while this battle is going on behind him, Jared Heasley is actually opening up a bit of a lead. It looks like Brian Mansfield might have clipped the wall coming out of turn 4 last time. And Jared Heasley is starting to run away from Ben Flanagan just a little bit. Last time by, he was 2 to 3/10 of a second faster, so as they pass the halfway point, looks like we might see our second time tonight that a big block can pull off the win against these 358s. And the 358s have started to spread out just a little bit, but Brian Mansfield, after a little bit of an issue a couple of laps ago, with 3 laps to go, he is coming back trying to close the gap on Derek Nearhood in the 40. As they come down into turns 3 and 4, they're going to be coming to get 2 to go. We'll see if Brian can full send it and pick up second place. Meanwhile, Ben Flanagan has opened up a 1.2 second lead over Derek Nearhood. As we get the 1 to go, it looks like it's all but settled at this point with the distances between them. It's going to take a mistake for somebody to change position, but as of right now, Jared Heasley wins in the big block. Ben Flanagan comes home first in the 358s, then Derek Nearhood and Brian Mansfield. And it looks like in the first 3 heats, we saw the 358s were all the faster cars on the track, but those the last heat and the consolation race, it was the big blocks that were dominant. So that's definitely going to come into play once they get out there in the feature. It'll be interesting to see who becomes the faster cars. We've noticed that throughout the night, the 358s have definitely had the fastest times during practice, but it's the big blocks that have more power and not that much more weight. So we'll have to see how things change. Maybe as the sun goes down, those big blocks get just a little bit faster. Looks like there's a bit of bumping and banging out on track already. The 91 of Tom Land is out there. Don't believe he was the one caught just a moment ago, but there has been a bit of excitement during the warm-up here. Just about 20 seconds left. So far, the fastest 358 on track has been Blake Mosley. The fastest big block has been Tom Land. And we've only got about 13 of the cars that have been out and practiced so far. And there's the checkered flag as they all wreck in turn 2. I mean, it's a little bit early to be doing the Outcast celebration routine, but yeah, go for it, guys. Still awesome to watch. All right, looks like this is going to line up with Todd Schott in the big block on the front row. Outside of him in the 358 is Chris Standridge. Then you've got the 358s of Doug Norton, Blake Mosley, and DJ Kenner. Then you've got the big block of Corey Goodall, followed by the 358s of James Johnson, Patrick Coluccio, Wayne Bridges. Then a couple of big blocks, Tom Land and Skylar Massey. 358 of Brett Carroll, the big block of Jared Heasley. Then you've got the 358s of Ben Flanagan, Derek Nearhood, and Brian Mansfield. And it looks like the 77, the big block of Mikey Mixter and Doug McLaughlin in the 358 round out the field. And as they are pacing around, since we've got another lap before that pace truck drops off, why don't you just go hit the share button there and share the broadcast out to your friends, family, complete strangers, random people you met on the side of the road, hitchhikers, people like that, just anybody. Get some people watching some dirt racing on a Monday night. Don't forget after the feature to stick around. We will be switching right over to the 305s, and after the 305s, the Enduro Series. So a lot of great racing this season. As this is the first race, we will have these cars running, then the 305s, then the Enduros. That'll be every Monday night right here. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, for XCal Street Stocks. Green flag is in the air. Todd Schott leads him down, gets a good jump into turn one. There goes Chris Standridge to the outside, and we've got quite a battle going on back here mid-pack as the 52 of Doug Norton just shot to the front there in that group. He came straight up the middle, and they are 3 and 4 wide directly behind him. 96 of Skylar Massey is stuck back in there as well. We've got a couple of cars struggling through the turn and several guys taking advantage. Looks like we might have an accident. We'll see if it brings out the caution. Back up front, though, is a 426 of Todd Schott, but the 358s are right behind, and caution is out. Yeah, I do believe this was Brett Carroll down on the inside in the 999 as they go off into the turn. Just got on the gas a little too hard and didn't know that car was out there. Got clipped, spun into the wall. They do have a couple of fast repairs if he needs it. But that brings us under our first caution of the night, actually. Midway up, Corey Goodall is currently 6th on the track. 2nd place in the big blocks. Jared Heasley is 3rd in big blocks, 9th on track. Tom Land looks like he has gone to pit road in the 91, and Skylar Massey is in the back in the big blocks. In the 358s, you got Blake Mosley up front in the 23. Then you got Chris Standridge, Doug Norton, Dwayne, DJ Kenner, James Johnson, Wayne Bridges, Derek Nearhood, Patrick Coluccio, Ben Flanagan, Brett Carroll, and Brian Mansfield round out the 358 field. One lap to green. They will line back up side by side. Todd Schott definitely got a good jump on the start. We'll see if he can do the same here on the restart. Caution laps do not count in this series, so we'll see. That has impacted a few races when they had a lot of cautions. The track slicked off more and more and more, even under caution. So we'll see if a lot of cautions come out. We could see the track getting slicked off way sooner than it should, and that could come into play as well. Green flag is in the air. Todd Schott gets a good jump. Blake Mosley is in 2nd. Chris Standridge back there in 3rd. Doug Tyre Norton is in 4th. And we've got a battle right here at the front. 22 of Chris Standridge, though, right there with him. Todd Schott has got quite a lead over his next competitor. Corey Goodall is back in 7th place, 2.2 seconds back, but the front group is all packed up right there together. And Chris Standridge gets in there trying to get to the inside. The 2 leaders for each class get into each other just a little bit going into turn 1. And it looks like Blake Mosley is going to come out ahead on that deal. As he crosses the start-finish line, he takes the lead in the 358s, and Todd Schott still leading the big blocks, but they are definitely battling hard even at the front. Meanwhile, further back in the pack, Skylar Massey is trying to recover the 10 of Jared Heasley, and also in the big block right on the back bumper of Corey Goodall. And the 333 of Corey Goodall right there also in the big block. He's currently the 2nd big block. Let's take a ride with him. As he comes out down the front straightaway, gets down there's Jared to the outside. You see the 40 of Derek Nearhood right in front of him. Oh, we've got another caution. All right, it looks like we're looking at Ben Flanagan in the 111 there to the outside. He just got a little too high coming out of the turn, drove up the fence, did a barrel roll, manages to land it on all 4s after a little pirouette. Nobody else collected, and that brings us under our 2nd caution of the night. Good recovery on his part. Back up front, the 23 of Blake Mosley is still leading for the 358s. Todd Schott still leading for the big blocks. Chris Standridge, DJ Kenner in the 358s. You got Chris Standridge in 2nd, DJ Kenner 3rd, James Johnson 4th, Doug Tyre Norton 5th, Wayne Bridges 6th, Patrick Coluccio 7th, Brian Mansfield 8th, Derek Nearhood is in 9th, and Brett Carroll is in 10th. And in the big blocks, you have Jared Heasley 2nd in class, Corey Goodall 3rd, Tom Land 4th, and Skylar Massey 5th. But Skylar Massey being in 5th, Tom Land being in 5th, I never count those 2 guys out. Those are 2 guys that know how to work their way to the front. They did it several times last season when trouble arose, so we will see if they can do it again here tonight. And the track is starting to show some signs of slicking off as they come around. We might start seeing a slicked off track here in a moment. Pace car is in. Blake Mosley wastes no time. And here comes Chris Standridge to the inside. They are 2 wide. And who is that coming up the middle? That is the 32 of Dwayne Kenner. He was trying to make a hole right up the middle coming through 1 and 2. He is on the move here tonight. Always a contender in these dirt cars. Dwayne is already up there into 3rd place and trying to work his way around the 22 of Chris Standridge. And right behind him, James Johnson in the 39 starting to make a move to the front. James was one of those that we saw out there practicing a lot longer than everybody else on the slicked off track. Might start seeing him come to the front. He's one that said last season he really likes it. When the tracks start to slick off, he can definitely drive really fast and pick up positions on a slicked off track. We'll see if that holds true tonight, because he's definitely got a run coming out of turn 2. Has to back off to stay out of the back of Kenner, but he is going to look to the inside again coming out of turn 4. Nothing there yet. And he's trying to get a run to the inside coming off turn 2. Will he be able to get a nose inside going into 3? Looks like he might have a little momentum. Nope, not yet. Meanwhile, Blake Mosley has taken off the front. And let's go check on the big blocks. The second place big block is the number 10. That is Jared Heasley. And he's got over a second lead on the 91 of Tom Land. But Heasley is still several seconds back from the leader, Todd Schott. And he's got a lot of 358s to get through here. Meanwhile, up front, the 22 of Chris Standridge is making a move on. It looks like Todd Schott right now. He's going to bring DJ Kenner with him and James Johnson as well. They're 3 wide coming off turn 4. Easy, fellas. Got a little bit close there coming through turn 4 onto the front straightaway. And there looks like they're coming into some lap traffic now. The right in front of them is Ben Flanagan in the 111. While these battles are going on behind him, Blake Mosley has managed to open up a 2.7 second lead with 10 laps to go. Unless there's a caution, it's going to be really difficult for Chris Standridge to catch him. But there it is, caution with 9 laps to go. We've got a car in the wall in turn 1. And it looks like that was Patrick Coluccio in the 99. As he comes off turn 4, as we saw earlier, he just got too high, got into the wall, did a little bit of a wall ride, managed to keep it on all fours, and he will be able to continue. But a rough end to the first race of the season. And this is something Blake Mosley definitely did not want to see. With 9 laps to go, he had a almost 3-second lead over Chris Standridge. Now he's going to have to deal with Chris right behind him, DJ Kenner back there. Todd Schott is the one in the mix in the big block. And we'll see if or how he comes into play as well. And while those big blocks have 240 more horsepower, the 358s are about 100 pounds lighter. So that does make a bit of a difference on the handling, as you're seeing a lot of these 358s get around the corners a little bit better, and the big blocks are taking off on the straightaways. Here at Volusia, it's kept them pretty even for the most part, but some of the other tracks down the road, we could see a lot more disparity between the two types of cars. Right now in the 358s, it's Blake Mosley, Chris Standridge, DJ Kenner, James Johnson, Brian Mansfield, Doug Norton, Wayne Bridges, Derek Nearhood, and Brett Carroll and Patrick Coluccio. In the big blocks, it is Todd Schott, Jared Heasley, Skylar Massey, Tom Land, and Corey Goodall. Only 5 big blocks on track, but 11 of the 358s. And we will be doing single file restart. Definitely gives Blake an advantage here. Green flag is in the air. Blake's trying to get her down into turn 1 and get a little lead on the 22. And here comes Todd Schott to the inside in the big block. He is trying to get back to the front of the pack. As the track slicks off, 8 laps to go, should be getting 7 laps to go as they come across the start finish line. The 22 right there on the back bumper of the 23. The 32 is also closing up on that is DJ Kenner. He is starting to close the gap up as well. Dropping back 6 laps to go. Let's see, Skylar Massey has made a huge move as well. In his big block, he has moved himself up. He is now 3rd in the big blocks. Jared Heasley looked like he was about to get passed by Skylar Massey and has managed to hold on to 2nd place in the big blocks. And it looks like Blake Mosley has managed to open up a bit of a gap here, as we've got a battle going for second here now. The 22 and the 32. That is Chris Standridge in the 22, the 32 of Dwayne Kenner. We'll see if Dwayne can get, he had a bit of a run to the inside coming through 3 and 4. And we've got another battle brewing back here. This is for about 4th, 5th, and 6th. You got James Johnson, Brian Mansfield, Doug Norton, all right there together. It looks like James has managed to break away from that pack just a little bit. Brian Mansfield is coming though. 3 laps to go, and some of these spots up here in the top 5 are getting shaken up just a little bit. Biggest mover so far tonight is the 95 of Brian Mansfield. Started in 11th. He is up to 5th right now, and he's running down James Johnson very quickly, but I don't know that he has enough time left. Meanwhile, up front, the 23 and the 22 are still battling. The 23 had opened up a little bit of a gap, but Chris Standridge has managed to close that gap back up. As we're on the final lap, we'll see if Chris can make that pass for the lead coming through 3 and 4. And he does not. In the 358s, it will be Blake Mosley, Chris Standridge, Dwayne Kenner, James Johnson, and Brian Mansfield round out your top 5. In the 358s, Todd Schott, Jared Heasley, Corey Goodall, Skylar Massey, and Tom Land round out that top 5 as well. And a great race was had by all, but some of these new guys, I don't think they know what is coming. I do not think Blake Mosley has any clue what's about to happen to him. So this will be hilarious to watch. As he tries to do his celebratory donuts. And looks like the 999 is closing back up on him. It looks like he's about to get some help with that. There we go. All right. Now we're getting this party started. Corey Goodall is coming. Oh! Oh, there we go. Now we're getting some wrecking in here. But he is still going, still in one piece. We'll have to see. He gets Chris Standridge righted. Here comes Doug Tyre Norton. And they've got a whole calamity going on here. Blake Mosley is still going. Let's see where Todd Schott is. He is up there as well. He is still going. Somebody needs to take care of his car as well. There we go. Boy, watching the celebration with 2 different car types is going to be interesting, that is for sure. But it is definitely a worthwhile thing. Looks like Todd Schott blew his engine. He is out. We've got several cars upside down on the entry to turns 3 and 4. And they have let Blake Mosley survive? This is unacceptable. We're going to have a quick talk with Chris Standridge here in a minute, because this is just not acceptable at all. And it looks like we're joined by Dwayne Kenner. Hey, Dwayne.
Hey, how's it going, Doug?
Hey, man. Really good. Congratulations, a 3rd place finish. That was a hard-fought battle tonight.
It was a very hard-fought battle. In fact, on that last caution, I told Todd and James that was one hell of a battle. We just kept going back and forth. It was really close, tight racing, and not even a bump.
Yeah, you guys had some very close calls a couple of times, especially between you and Chris. I mean, when you guys were racing side by side and nose to tail, you guys had some close encounters, but managed to keep them both straight the entire race. That was impressive.
Yeah, there was a couple times early on I actually had to let off and hit the brakes a little bit to avoid running in the back of Chris, but we did a really good job keeping it clean and running to the front.
Yeah, you guys really did tonight. Congratulations. That is a great way to start the season with a 3rd place finish.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the league. Chris does a great job with the league. It's fun to race with these guys.
All right, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate. And are you going to be in the 305s here in a bit?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Look forward to seeing you race some more tonight.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Take care.
All right, let's pull Chris Standridge. Chris, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, first off, we have to talk about something that is completely unacceptable. Blake managed to get through the celebration intact.
Yeah, and I tried to tell him, I'm like, hey, dude, you gotta hang out for a moment, and we're gonna come around and hit you. And then he disappeared on us.
Well, in the future, we're going to have to make sure he gets taken out. I don't know what it'll take, but
Well,
congratulations.
Tom and Derek made sure I got hit, so we're still good.
Awesome. Well, you got a second place finish, and like I was telling Dwayne, that was a hard fought battle tonight. You guys had a lot of back and forth, and having Todd up there in that mix as well definitely made for some interesting battling.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I really had fun, and I'll tell you, Blake, I really felt like at the end I swear he looked in the mirror and felt kind of sorry for me, and he's like, "Oh, I'll slow down and make him feel better about himself."
Well, you did close the gap down with about 2 to go, and then but you just couldn't get there at the end of the race. Still a great way to start a new season.
Yeah, it was fun, and I think DJ had a faster car for sure, but that inside lane just went away, so I just kind of went down and blocked him a little bit. Felt a little guilty about it, but I told him, I just want to make him earn it.
All right. Well, congratulations. Looks like Todd Schott has joined us.
Yeah, good old Todd.
Thought I saw him drop in. Apparently not, but we do have
Oh,
race
no.
winner Blake Mosley here now.
Yep, I'm there.
Hey,
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Congratulations, but we're going to have to talk about your unacceptable way you survived the celebration, and that's just
To be fair, I waited and nobody hit me but like two people, and when they did, I just kept going. So I was actually flipping people over. So we got to talk about that.
well, next time just turn around and go backwards. That's usually the way. If you don't get wrecked very quickly, the right way to do is turn around and go backwards.
Yeah, I was playing record.
Well, you did a great job tonight, and you definitely started in third. And to get up to first in this field, especially with the other cars around, that was a heck of a win.
Yeah, well, the start kind of helped me too. I think the inside line kind of didn't take off very well, but other than that, it's pretty good racing. The lap cars, they surprisingly, I had better luck with lap cars here than I normally do on asphalt. So I will say that.
And you definitely had a lot of. I mean, tonight was mostly green flag racing, and you still had a ton of battles, both with you and then cars coming from the back. I think another couple of laps, you'd have had a couple more cars you would have had to contend with.
Oh yeah, my car was going away there at the end. By the way, I was not. I wasn't trying to let you catch up. It was just going away.
It felt like it. It really did.
No, it was going away. I was losing it in the slick coming off the corner. I'd pull you on entry, but exit you'd kill me. So I was trying everything I could to stay out front.
Well, you definitely managed to pull it off tonight. Congratulations. Great win. Great finish to all you guys.
Yep, I guess I'm going to attempt the 305s. To be fair, I have never driven a sprint car on here, so this is going to be interesting.
All right. Well, we'll be watching for you then.
Yep, hey, just keep the camera on me and you'll see a bunch of cautions.
All right. Congratulations, guys. We'll be talking to you here shortly again.
Thank you.
All right. We got to talk to Chris, the top three in the 358s. Didn't get a chance to talk to Mr. Todd Schott, but congratulations to him. And congratulations to Blake as well. Great way to start the new season. We'll be back in just a moment. We're not even going to stop. We're just going to switch over. We'll be back in just a moment with 305s from Volusia, and then we will be in the street stocks in Enduro at Lanier. And that's just going to be an utter wreck fest, and something you don't want to miss. So stick around for just a few moments. We'll be right back with you.